All set.
Yeah.
All set.
All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. We had the minutes of the June 12th meeting. I was not here. Any changes, corrections to those minutes?
Move to accept.
Second?
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. For the director's report.
So we've got peanut butter, chocolate chip cookies and milk down there. Thank you all for coming.
I didn't see the cookies when I came in.
I don't think anybody did.
You put those right beside me.
It's supposed to be the first thing you saw when you came in.
Yeah. You didn't even notice, sorry. We'll have to pass those around, Randy.
So this is our first meeting where we're broadcasting it for the public and saving it. It's on our website, and we put a little short practice one up with an introduction that's on there. Will be stored, I think the law requires for a minimum of 60 days. And we don't have as fancy as stuff, but it's pretty nice. So that's our owl, and it can 360 all the way around. When you see those two little white eyes on either side of it, you know it's on. It tends to make multiple pictures by motion, and then by sound. It's pretty amazing. And we just got it up and going 2 hours ago. So I think it's really good about picking up what you're saying. So if you don't want something to be said that's being recorded for prosperity, you have to look and see if that red light's on that knows that the microphone's off. Okay. A lot of new equipment's come in, new used equipment, and I think we're in pretty good shape. In the last 12 months, we traded in the Doosan loader for a new case loader. We're thrilled to death with that. It's a good product. We didn't have a heavy enough truck, so we traded in our old Freightliner and got a much newer Kenworth that's a heavy hauler. We've been thrilled with that. Just the executive board signing those. Because different trailers have different setups, we've got a used Volvo, and that works good for our breakaway trailer. We downsized the fleet, 3 vehicles, and now we have we got rid of an old service truck, an old van truck, and an old educator vehicle. And now we have a service truck that gives us the capability of having a welder, compressor, and a crane on it. We've pretty much got that all set up, getting close.
Is that a used or new one?
It's used.
Did you get them down on the price any farther than what?
We got 47.
2,500 more than,
Good.
than what.
Good for you.
So
Yeah.
we've pretty much jumped up about a decade in a lot of equipment that's a lot more capable of what our extreme needs are, and saved a lot of money. So things are looking good equipment-wise. And then the last item for the director's report, over at the Crooked Lake 4-H Park, the Angola site or the Crooked Lake site, Dry Dock Marina has been building a lot of big buildings that are 70 by 170 square feet. They're right on the property line. They seem to stage the building of a building about 3 or 4 months apart, maybe a half year apart. So in the last 12 to 16 months, there's been 3 of them put up. It's over 14,000 square feet of roof. And there's no downspouts or overhangs. It's been challenging for us because we have our grass mowed really short and nice, and we're wanting everything to be good going into Crooked Lake. We've been working hard with the county surveyor and Dry Dock Marine, and then the surveyor has worked with the Steuben County commissioners, and we're going to get some catch basins and stuff put in to help manage the water. We have trouble in a big rain event. When it's cold, the water floods over the road, and then it can turn to ice and stuff. that was a pleasant surprise from the commissioners, and the highway department's gonna be the one shouldering most of that work and getting that corrected. So, a lot of Steuben County agencies working together to solve a big problem created by these buildings. So that's the update on the stormwater situation, and that kind of all just fell in place this week up at the county commissioners meeting. Probably should have put on there, Randy did an awesome job. We went up and presented before the county council. And I think we're in pretty good shape. I'm trying to keep it short and sweet tonight.
So did Dubuque County have a storm and erosion ordinance up there?
So there's a big ditch that goes into Crooked Lake, and the ditch taxes and the maintenance are broken up into different chunks on the ditches, and that one doesn't have a maintenance thing. And then like the MS4, Angola has that, but the county doesn't. And all three of the roofs only total about 14,000 square feet. And I think, I don't know how many square feet are in an acre, 20,000, does that sound?
52,000.
52,000.
50.
50,280.
Yeah.
So we're well below, they're well below an acre, and they keep doing a building at a time and then waiting a little bit.
So they don't have to necessarily do a soil and water disturbing more than an acre per project thing, because they're keeping it small enough per project.
Yep.
For stormwater,
But like with Range County, you can't have wastewater run onto somebody else's property. Like that's all Grange County is.
yeah.
I'm surprised that they got away with that. They're on the property line though.
Well, I mean, the water crosses the property line in certain areas, and they've done a lot of work, but yeah, there was a lot of stuff up front, like silt fences or a dry containment pond, none of that kind of
How
stuff.
close are the buildings to the edge of the property line?
If the parcels over there,
setbacks, yeah.
if the setback's 10%, they're probably 20, 25 maybe.
Probably.
Okay, so they're not like directly on the line, but pretty close, so when all the water sheets off, it's gonna, okay.
They
Well-
never got away with that in the city ordinance, I'll tell you that. I know, I put in 2 big retention ponds at my place, and I have to maintain them.
All the storage places that were built between Dry Dock and the Shell gas station, they had to put a big retention
Yeah.
pond in, so.
I'm gonna do a little research on that, because I'm pretty good with the surveyor,
He's, yeah, Mr. Shamble, I seem pretty nice,
Slaybaugh, yeah.
or Slayball, excuse me. And then they're terraced, so one building drains, and then it goes downhill to the next building, and then you get all that buildings, and then those two drain down to the next one, so it's like you're going down stair steps.
He does have Julian in there working on that though too, so they might be gonna change that more.
Yeah,
I hope.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're done.
Yeah.
Really?
They're not,
This issue was pressed pretty hard with them, and what they finished with right now, I think, is because the issue was pressed. They wanted to just leave it. They weren't gonna do anything extra. Yeah, it all just kind of flows right into the back of the cabin. So it was pretty bad.
I'll do some research on that.
Awesome.
the surveyor asked our employees who was dumping the dirt. So things were going pretty good, but then I took a picture of the dump truck dumping the dirt, and things got pretty heated pretty fast.
Yeah.
But we still kept it civil.
He's got all that millings piled up there too. Now Terry's a good customer of mine too, but they got all those millings piled up there too, and they're gonna plan on covering.
I think so.
And I had an awful time with that, with the city of Angola, because that's not allowable. I had to put in extra drains and stuff.
Yeah, so they have their MS4 plan. It's different because it's not in the city jurisdiction. All those millings have already been spread out and sprayed with oil, so, and rolled, so.
Runs right
I'm
into Crooked
thankful that the
Lake.
county's helping out and putting in some catch basins. I think we'll get one on the,
Okay, anything else?
No, sir.
No other items pending, huh?
No old business.
No? Any public?
The only other thing we need to do is we need to set a date for, wages, an executive meeting. Cause I don't think you wanna have that out in public right now, but we need to talk about it. It's the elephant in the room, and we're gonna have to address it here pretty soon, so,
How soon?
well, soon enough that they can get everything ready for January.
No, okay. Now, all right, I'll just ask, has the budget already been approved for them for 2026 yet?
No,
Next month.
they actually have pushed it, public hearing will be pushed back to September. The counties are all having problems with software and other issues regarding AV values. And Senate Bill 1 that was passed and everything, and so they weren't ready to do in August like they typically do. They don't typically actually pass the budget until October. So they're, we went up and presented to the council in the August meeting like we would normally do, and that would normally be the public hearing. But now there'll be a public hearing in some date in September, which we don't quite have yet. And we'll represent then, so that the public can be there. I mean, there was public there that day, but that's not the actual official meeting, I guess you would say. So we'll go back in September and present that in the official, public hearing, and then you have to wait 10 days, before you can have that. So it'll be probably around the 12th of September, and I think it's 11th of October is the date for passage.
Okay.
So it will be publicized for the annual meeting probably right around September 1st is what I would anticipate, because you gotta do that like 10 days before that public hearing, so.
We've got a 4-day council scheduled just for the budget.
4 days?
It's getting pretty tight.
So what, how soon you want to try and do that, right?
Well, if we have a closed exec session, we're gonna have to have an open meeting in order to vote on it then shortly thereafter.
Right, we had to figure out what
So,
subsection of the exec, or the executive session statute would be. I might be able to.
it's the one where you're discussing wages and stuff for employees. and so
Okay, I
you
think
could-
there is a subsection.
Yeah, there's a
that works on that.
subsection in there for that. And so that's closed to the public, it's closed to our employees, we would do it. We could do that and then have a meeting directly after that one where we would present it to the board and vote on it. That way we could have it done by September. And Randy could put it in the budget, but that's what we're going to do. So either, one way or another, we've got to have a meeting and decide what we're gonna do. Whether it's gonna be 0, 100%, whatever it's gonna be. We need to have that meeting. And then, like I said, we can put it out that we're having a called board meeting directly. We should be able to hammer it out within a half an hour, I would think. And have a board meeting right directly after that. Vote on what we decide, either yay or nay. And then he would be able to put it in the budget and present it in September.
I know from the council point of view, they told all the department heads for the county employees that they were gonna have to keep their budget pretty tight, and they weren't planning on doing any raises for 26. But, which I think we're gonna be okay, but nobody knows what Senate Bill 1's gonna do to all of us as far as county funds coming from the state. So 27 could be.
27's gonna be the bad
Gonna be
year.
really tight for us, so I don't know. I know they give a bunch of stipends and raises last year for the survey that they did.
Well,
So-
that's what we need to talk about and decide what we're gonna do,
I
what
know
we're
they're
gonna
already
do.
crying the blues about
Oh, I know.
where the money's gonna come from because they were really, I wasn't there last year, but they were really tight on money, and that's why they've scheduled 4 days for us to try and hash out who's gonna get what. So I don't know where.
Either way, we need to talk about it
I agree.
and get it, decide what we're gonna do. And,
Send it in, the most they can do is say.
There you go,
yes or
that's
no.
exactly right. All they can do is say no. Or all they can say yes to, which would be
That's
fine.
right.
But, you know, you can't get anything if you don't ask or you don't present it. So, it's better to have the meeting, decide what we're gonna do, have Randy present it in the thing, and they can either nix it or say, go ahead, guys. So,
And your drop dead date, Randy, is the 12th of September.
Well,
first he said,
I mean, when you advertise your budget, you're advertising the total,
Right,
not the breakdown,
right.
okay? So I thought the process was in the last meeting we had, we passed what the budget was, and we were going to take stuff from other categories and adjust the wage numbers that we needed to adjust them. And if we're still on that time frame, then we really only have to have the wages figured out by the first of the year when you do your,
okay,
I agree with Randy on that, that's what
Yeah.
I recall from before too. You
Yeah.
don't have
I
to
think
compress
after
it
he brought
before
that up,
September
that's
1st.
right.
Yeah.
So, but we still need to do it, so we need to set a date, and that way our employees know what's going on, Randy knows what's going on, everybody knows what's going on what we're gonna do.
Can you do a closed door exec at our December meeting?
No,
that's.
not for that.
It needs to be done probably by at least the October meeting. I
Yeah.
mean, you skip every other month. You don't really
Yeah.
have to do something in September, but if you're gonna do something, you ought to do it in October.
Yeah,
And have that out of the way so you're not putting it all the way to the end of the year.
yeah, the only way we can do it the way you're talking about is doing like we're doing right now. You have to file a thing that shows that it's closed, and then have your regular meeting after that.
So that's
So we could do
Can we
that
it at the
October.
October meeting?
October 9th.
So what this is the particular subsection in the statute says it's to discuss a job performance evaluation, employee-specific compensation, or employment matters of individual employees. So that's to some extent where you're doing which employee gets which
Yeah.
bump in wages.
Yeah.
The subdivision does not apply to a general discussion of the salary, compensation, and benefits of employees during a budget process. But this, I think you're maybe wanting to aim it on specific employees and specific levels.
Yes, I think so too.
So that
At
would
least
seem-
that's what I have in mind.
So that's, I mean, it's a kind of a fine hair to split there, but.
So we do the
We
closed,
split that hair all the time when we talk about our wages in the town. That's the subsection we file.
So when you notice it, you just notice the,
Right,
it would be subsection 9 of that statute and quote it. You don't have to say anything else specifically what it's about, just quote the subsection 9.
so do you guys wanna come in at, 4:30 that day? Can we make 4:30 on October the 9th?
I mean, I can,
I'm just down the road, so yeah. Right.
yeah.
Randy?
so we do 4:30, October 9th for the closed door exec, and then you're
Yes.
gonna hold a regular board meeting at 5:30?
Yeah, at 5.
Do a regular board at 5?
It'd be executive board at 5.
And regular board.
And a
meeting at
regular
5:30.
board meeting at 5:30, just like it normally is. The only thing is, we're having the closed one
At 4:30.
at 4:30 to discuss the wages and stuff, because after that, then the other one, we're gonna discuss all of our normal, regular business at 5 o'clock to 5:30. Does that make sense?
I got you.
Yep. That'll work. Anything else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the executive board meeting.
I'll make that.
Second. Thank you.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Adjourn. We'll wait for you to do the other one. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. We have a quorum, I thought, not quite everybody here, so 2 or 3. We have the minutes of June 12th meeting. Were there any additions, corrections to those minutes?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We have the treasurer's report, registry of claims.
Okay, we'll go through this here. On the front page of the treasurer's report, I just wanted to point out that under reimbursement, that is insurance refund as a result of consolidating those 3 pieces of equipment and adding one new piece of equipment, or the new used piece of equipment. So we got a little refund back from the insurance company as a result of that.
Nice.
Then if we go to the next page, when you look at between our last meeting and this meeting, when the monies came in from the certified shares, there was 2 months worth in Grange, 2 months worth in Noble, and 2 months worth in Steuben, so that's why those are a little bit higher than normal. Then if we go on back to, let's see, it'd be page, numbered at the bottom, page 2 of 8. One of the items that came up there was Carper Propane. We had them come out and do a summer fill to get our gas a little cheaper before it gets into the season. And then we contracted 6,000 gallons for the winter coming up at $1.80 a gallon. We contracted 5,000 gallons last year, and we used 7,250 gallons. And that contract only goes through March, so the rest of a lot of those gallons were after that, when they were filling tanks after that happened. And so instead of the $1.80, we ended up paying like $1.90 for those additional gallons, so not too much more, but a little bit more. So we bumped the contract up another 1,000 gallons on that. The next item is on page 3 of 8. There was $1,855 worth of tools that were bought for the new service truck. Then on the page, next page, I'm just going through the items that are kind of different for the month. Page 5 of 8, there was the laptop computer, which runs the OWL, and some of the OWL equipment there is the $1,295 that shows there that was paid to Mid-South. Then on the page 6 of 8, about 2/3 of the way down, there's Tordebi. They're the ones that do the HHW program, the chemists, and they haul stuff away. From that program, there was 2 months for June and July that we paid for, so that was $21,000 this month. And you can see the 2 months are broken out there, 12,000 for 1 month and 9,200 for the other month. Then on page 7, we got the Premier, paid $5,984, and that was for teeth and things for the tub grinder. They have to, I think a lot of times they call those hammers, but anyway, they have to be replaced every so often because that's what wears on those. So those are the major items that were different, in the treasurer's report. Anybody have any questions? I'm more than happy to answer them. You can see on the front page that we now have $4,462,000 in our general fund, $358,000 in the non-reverting fund, and $627,000 in the rainy day fund.
How big is your propane tank?
1,000 over
1,000
there.
gallons.
Just 1,000 gallons?
I don't know what these two are.
Those aren't 500, those must be 1,002.
Yeah, there's 2,000 over here and then 1,000 in the shop. I think we got 2,000 gallon tanks over here, then 1,000 over at the shop.
These are 500.
Those are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we got 1,000 over here and 1,000 over there.
Yeah.
and then a small one in LaGrange.
Yeah, 250.
So we have 4 tanks total at 2 different locations, between 250 and 1,000 gallons.
Move to accept.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have motion and second on treasurer's report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. We have the executive committee report. You want to talk about the both points there, but
So thank you all for coming. There's a tray of peanut butter and chocolate chip cookies coming around. There's ice cold whole milk over there. Help yourself, please. 3 things. So this is our first meeting where we're putting it out there for the public, and it's being recorded for the public or anyone to look at a later date. This is called our owl here on the tripod. It can see all the way around. The reason it's called an owl is because we are learning it is extremely sensitive to movement, noises like tapping a pen or talking. If it needs to be not recording, it's going to be lit up in red. You can either push a button on there or Gwen could stop it over here. It's already on our website, a link to it, and we've already done a first little intro promo explaining it to people that's on there that they can look at. They'll be up there to not have a whole bunch of storage. They'll be available by YouTube, and they'll be there for 60 days. And so this is our first one, and we're off and running. In the last 12 months, we've taken a lot of older equipment that wasn't capable of doing the jobs and come up a decade or so with better, newer used equipment. And so the highlights of the last 12 months, we took the Doosan wheel loader, which we weren't really thrilled with, and that's the only thing where we traded for new, because Case has such great government pricing on their loaders and makes such a good wheel loader. And so we're thrilled to death with the new Case loader that we've been using. That was the first thing. The second thing, we took our old Freightliner semi and got a heavy hauler 4-axle semi. That's been working out really well for us. That's just for hauling the big, massive Vermeers. I mean, it can do other things too, but it's pretty much dedicated to that. We got the Volvo semi, which is an automatic for our breakaway gooseneck trailer that moves our loader around when we go around to these 12 to 15 different places where we're grinding. That's worked out pretty well. And then we also downsized some of the smaller vehicles that we weren't using too much. The old Educators vehicle, the old van truck that we service all the 12 recycling collection places every Monday, and our old service truck. And we traded those 3 in and traded up for a newer, much nicer service truck, which has a lot of capabilities like our heavy hauler Kenworth. It has a crane, a welder, and a compressor. And Bobby's just now finishing getting it all dialed in with hand tools just the way he wants it. So we're very thankful to have those upgrades, and I think we're in a good spot. Anything you wanted to add, Bobby?
I don't think so. It's come in very, very handy. I think the first week we had it, I don't even think I had a tool on it yet. But if we didn't have it, we were gonna have to call Vermeer to use their crane to help us unplug some stuff to hold up the belt. And so it's already come in super handy. Saved us a bunch of money right off the bat there. So it's been very, very nice.
what year truck is it now?
A 15. Yep. F550. I think it's got 156-ish thousand, 57,000 on it. But so far so good. She runs like a top.
Hardly broken.
Yeah.
The Kenworth's the 2014. Does that sound right? So we're taking a lot of stuff that was way
Yeah.
old, and we're bringing stuff up that's
Yeah.
about 10 years old. That's we've spent some time and found some really good stuff. Like that Kenworth was out of Texas with no salt. It's really hard to find a double frame truck that hasn't been in salt, and that's very critical. So we've spent some money, but we've modernized stuff and we haven't spent a bunch of money buying new stuff. So that's the equipment update. Any questions or anything? And then the last item I had for this meeting, a lot's happened with the thanks of Steuben County, the commissioners, the surveyor, and it's gonna be the highway department. We had a neighbor over by our Crooked Lake Angola site. It has erected 3 buildings in the last year and a half, and they're within 10%, 10, 15, maybe 20 feet of the property line. But we're talking over 13,000 square feet of roofing that doesn't have overhangs or downspouts or gutters even. And that's, the 3 buildings are built in terraces coming down to our small little log cabin that we have at the Angola site, like we have at a lot of these sites where we do compost. So we've really been struggling in big rain events with all the surface water that's coming over into the yard and flooding the driveway and almost coming into our sheds. It's never breached the cabin yet, has it?
Not yet, real close.
But it's been bringing a lot of aggregate and a lot of sand over to where we mow. And thanks to the surveyor and the commissioners and the highway department, that's all being addressed. It's so much more critical in cold weather because when the driveway floods like that and has standing water for a day or two, with cold temperatures, we end up having a lot of bad ice. So it was a big problem. It's been developing. A lot of people have been working on it, and it kind of just all fell in place this week thanks to the commissioners, the highway department, and the surveyor.
So they are cleaning up everything that's run over onto our property then?
They've tried to do a lot of mitigation with straw, riprap walls, and retaining walls, stuff that probably 3 weeks ago wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the sand, our grass just kind of keeps growing and takes over. The aggregate, I'm just like, it's such fine aggregate. I'm like, make sure we're not mowing that. We're just kind of absorbing it. It's kind of filling in the low spots. And because we've had plenty of moisture, the grass keeps growing over it. But, yeah. I think the biggest problem, Gary, is just the sheer amount of water that overwhelms County Road 175 North and our driveway.
Is that a commercial building, Doug?
They're pole barns, yeah. They're each like 70 by 170 feet.
A business?
They're boat storage is what they are.
Yeah. They're cold storage for dry dock marina.
I was just wondering why, with that much roof space, that there wasn't a retention pond or something required to run that water off into.
So because it's not in an MS4 designated area like in the city limits, and they did one building at a time and then waited a couple of months, I think they were just kind of staying below the radar. And that ditch that all that flows into Crooked Lake doesn't have a maintenance ditch tax on it. So did I answer your questions there?
Yeah, kinda, just, with that size of building, you know, we try to keep track of that in Ligonier, and sometimes when you wanna do something, first thing the engineers, almost the very first thing they do is, do we have room for retention area? And matter of fact, just in our northern industrial park, Forest River, when they bought that, we planned a huge, because that's covers like 60 acres, and it's going to be a lot of asphalt, a lot of 3 buildings, huge buildings, and that'll be draining on there. The asphalt, some of it's stone. It'll go into a huge retention area. Fortunately, we have a drainage area that goes back down and eventually ends up in the Elkhart River. But, you know, we had to make arrangements to collect that. And then
to regulate that flow, keep it off the neighbors' properties, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so
I was
there-
just curious why,
I can't give you the answers. I mean, there definitely aren't dry retention basins out there or silt fence during construction, but, moving forward, you know, there's a lot of players and a lot of things for us to learn and develop relationships with, and so I think it's gonna end well. And we're protecting our interest and protecting and, you know, being good stakeholders to the lake and the water and everything, so a lot of it's gonna come over into our yards, but because of the county's help, it's gonna go into catch basins and it'll protect County Road 175 north and our paved driveways, so.
Is the company owner assisting with all of the financial end of all of this mitigation? Who's covering those?
So the stuff they did on their property, like you know, I'm like, you need to have some riprap, you need to have some erosion control, you need to build some straw retaining until that stuff gets established. And they did put grass seed and fertilizer down. Yes, they've done all that with their own private contractor. And I was kind of like, this needed to be done yesterday. So they've done that stuff, but the water that's gonna come over onto us, the county, the highway department is going to address that, is my understanding. And I don't know that there's any talk about cost. I'm just appreciative to get the help.
Yeah, just was curious as to, again, who's paying for all of that? Is it the county, is it us? I'm just trying to sort that all out.
It's the county.
The county is paying.
All that drainage lies within county right away, highway right away. So
Gotcha.
the highways take
Wow.
care of the roadway, essentially.
That's an expensive cost for the taxpayers.
It's material that we already own,
Yeah,
it's gonna fix it,
okay,
just putting it to use.
gotcha.
All that equipment to be that way too.
That's everything I had on the agenda.
Any other items pending? Do you want to talk about your fire at all?
Oh, we can, yeah.
I was talking about the
So.
big tub grinder, cause it's just straight west of my house, and I asked him how they're getting along over there, and I heard the big story.
Yeah, so the other week, grinding like normal, and you guys were doing really well, and then all of a sudden, it smokes every now and again, nothing crazy. That mill spinning as fast as it does, stuff get wedged, and it just never gets to the point where it's embers or anything. It just makes a bunch of smoke, and you pack it up and goes through there just fine. So there was a little bit of smoke, and then it seemed to be coming from not normal places. So our operator, Aaron, was able to see it, understand what was going on, and shut the machine down. Well, our new operator, Brett, was up there grinding. Aaron was able to hop out of there, shut the machine down, get his fire extinguisher out of the cab and put it out, and then got Brett to come down with his fire extinguisher from that cab and put it on there again. Well, Aaron was calling the fire department to come out there and get the thing put out. One of the rollers are about 4 foot long, 4-ish inches in diameter, and they have bearings on each end, and the bearing just gave up completely. It just blew all the way apart, so there's just a rod in there hitting metal on metal, and it finally sparked. And on the slack adjusters on the axle there, the sawdust kind of just grows gradually on there, and so it finally just got it just enough, and it started smoking, and that belt spinning as fast as it does. There's a lot of wind, so it just it took right off. But they were able to get it under control really quickly and get the fire department called and out there, and everything was taken care of really quick. So it was very, very minimal damage done. Had to get new rollers, which when I called and talked to them, they said when they hear of one catching on fire, it's a total loss. They lose the entire machine because there's so much wood chips. The belt right there, it all catches everything on fire, and you just lose the whole machine. But they were able to get out of there, get ahead of it really quick and get it put out, so
Wow.
we're really
That's
thankful
great.
for that,
Yeah.
Yeah, really
That's
proud
a
of them
good
for
deal.
hopping out of there so fast and getting it,
Yeah,
so,
good job.
so they were a little shaken up, cause once we heard like, oh, we could've lost the whole thing, been out of luck, but
That's huge.
they were able to get it and we spent $1,200 on rollers and we got those all fixed up and replaced this week, so we're back up and going. Yeah,
And the machine, 11 years ago was close to 700,000, so it's a
Yeah.
big expensive machine.
yeah, they're like 1.3-ish without the cab right now. When I talked to Dan Bushing out of Fort Wayne, he was pricing them and that's roughly where he was at without the cab, so I think we're 1.5-ish with it when that needs to be replaced. But it's got a lot of value because it's really low hours, so somebody will definitely want it. But we're getting there with that there's this hydraulic controller on the back of the cab that is no longer available. It's all went to fly-by-wire stuff, so there's no hydraulics up there anymore, and it's something they pull off of burnt-up machines or something that's been totally destroyed to send on down the road to somebody else when they have an issue. But ours is still going good, so just something to think about for the future. But
Whose jurisdiction would that have been, fire protection? Was that Albion City?
Albions, yeah.
So, thank you. Pass on a big thank you to them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't cost us a bunch of money.
yeah,
And I will bring up, I don't know what's changed with our firm that picks up all recycling centers, but it must be like night and day because I go by ours in Albion there probably every other day. I order to throw stuff in and they're always empty now. They hire more drivers, get more trucks or what?
Do you want the quick 30-second?
I'm so shocked at how empty they are all the time.
So it's still the same company and they're struggling and they're still basically trying to do it with one driver, one route, when it should be 3.5 routes, drivers. The person that they have, everybody always used to refer to Ozzy, this new person, Adam, is amazing. He gets out of the truck, picks up things when he spills it, he knows where he needs to be. And then they have other routes, drivers that they pull off and try to come help and assist them. But probably the hugest change was we were able to partner with Walsler and Garrett, and they have a transfer station for trash, and they also have a micro transfer station for recyclables because they're in the recycling business. And so the first load of the day, the driver takes that to Walsler's. Walsler's bales it and puts it in a big semi and has another company that they contracted with to take it to their Elkhart MRF. And that enables the driver to go back out and start his second load, not having to go to the MRF in Elkhart. So Andy says, getting that MRF set up at Walsler's is saving me 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if Andy's not here, it doesn't work nearly as good, but Andy's keeping it going. And I'm glad to hear that in Albion because some of the places, everything's getting dumped every day, and some of them, like Steuben, there's 13 bins in Steuben, or 17? 13, I think.
You move more bins.
yeah, we moved more.
So we
I
moved
think
3.
there's 16.
Yeah, I think there's
So if
16
there's
now.
16 bins in Steuben,
Yeah.
it's not uncommon for them to go in there and only empty 5 and say, we'll be back, and then the we'll be back doesn't happen. And that's what they were doing, Gary, everywhere, at every site. They were robbing from Peter to pay Paul. We'll just dump a couple to have a place to put a little bit, and the others would get so full, we'd have those huge messes that were amplified horribly in Albion because that's such a tight area with such few.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely changed. I mean, everything's just as clean as can be there.
Because we're not getting the phone calls.
Yeah,
And another thing that's helped them, it doesn't help the taxpayers, but they don't have 13 bins to empty in Ligonier. And that was their kind of low-hanging fruit that they could get to the easiest. And so it sounds like we might redeploy some of those to Topeka because Topeka's asking for more. So that's had one less stop and 13 less bins a day for them. There's 158 total of those 8-yard bins scattered in the 12 locations now. Auburn's been doing pretty good, right?
Yeah, we haven't had any issues in the last several months. So it's been good. Site's been clean.
So,
And we're not even 10 minutes from Washler's. I mean, Garrett's only 5, so that's probably somewhat of a benefit for the southern part of the county.
so it's a big job for them, and they certainly do not have enough drivers or trucks or equipment, but at least we got their attention, and they're keeping their head above water, but just barely. But it is noticeably better. We've gotten what you have heard and observed, we've gotten lots of that.
Do they have any plans to expand the drivers?
Well, so I think like so many other places, they're always hiring, but they're pretty,
Limited on equipment?
I think that they fire easily too, so people don't last, and there's two types of drivers. So there were people that will just come in and do damage to the bends and damage to equipment, and when they have a hydraulic leak, they just keep going, and if they spill stuff, they don't care. And there's very few drivers like this primary one, Andy, that we have, so we probably should bake him more brownies. Yeah, Andy's he has been publicly acknowledged to the company every time we deal with him. Having the transfer station and that one in person are the two biggest things I would say, Gary, made the change.
Good. Now, let's hope it continues then, so.
It's always good to get some good news. Because
Yeah.
it's not very often.
Okay, any other items pending? Any comment from the public? I see none.
You're the public.
Well,
Move to adjourn.
yeah, we got a motion to adjourn, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion second, all those in favor say aye.
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 Plenty of time.
We'll see you on October the 9th.
October the 9th, 4 o'clock, 4:30.